got the Parker baits. Well, that's it. I've actually caught common carp. Oh my word. How do I turn this down? No. Wrong way. Go down. That's better. Well, I've just got to Coole Acres. I've got peg 3 because there's absolutely there's one person on the lake the other side of here casting to the hotspot, but other than that there's no one else on the lake. I've just seen some fizzing all along this middle bit here, and it's the only place I've had to walk around the whole lake. I've not seen anything else, even the bowl. There's literally no one on the bowl. Didn't see any fish. The only fizzing I've seen is basically along the middle bit of here. So I've seen some fizzing around there was the latest bit. So I've literally just under an arm chucked a rod out with a pink magic bean 15mm and mini micro pellets, both obviously from Parker baits, with some flat spot on it. And I've literally just underarm chucked it where I saw the fizzing, and chucked a couple of handfuls of my spod mix, which has got sweet corn, OG fish pellet, mini micro pellet, and chopped up worms, but I'll show you all that later on. And yeah, I've just underarm chucked it to try and get a bite while I'm setting up my gear. It's absolutely chucking it down, but I'm the only one apart from these people that are going later. There's one person fishing and there's a group with him, and they're apparently going later on. So you can see my flat spot there from where I've cast out, so fingers crossed I can get a bite. I'm going to set up my bivvy because it's absolutely chucking it down. But yeah, welcome to Coole Acres. I'll do a proper intro when I'm all set up, but yeah, I'm so excited. 72 hours, come on, see if I can get you either a carp or a catfish, but hopefully both. When you get to a venue and a peg and it's chucking it down with rain, always set your bivvy up before your rods. Bivvy's not set up, but my rods are out and I am absolutely soaked. Well, that's all my rods set up and all my bivvy set up for the night. And I have gone light tonight, so I am not spodding at all. I chucked a couple of handfuls of bait, just scattered it out into the middle, and the two rods on this side, I've literally got them pub chucked out about there and there, where I saw the fizzing earlier. I've already had a beep on the orange one, which is the left hand one on that side, and then on this one I have pub chucked it out with a solid bag. I think it had a yellow magic bean in from what I could see, and I've already had a beep on that one. So that's got yellow magic bean. That one's, the middle one's got a hardened hooker topped off with a piece of fake sweet corn, and then the right hand one has got a pink magic bean. Mini micro pellets on each one for both the solid bag on that one and the mesh bags on that one. So basically a subtle approach, see whether I can get a quick bite. The fizzing has stopped. The rain's got worse, so yeah, fingers crossed I can get some, but the rods are out, all done and dusted. So I'm going to go in the bivvy and try and dry off, and hopefully the liners that I've already had will turn into a bite. But yeah, it's all I can do. Literally these people have all packed down on this side now, so there's just me on the whole of the complex. And hopefully with no angling pressure, the carp and the catfish can just go around freely, and probably a good chance that I'll get a bite. So I'm going to wind down because I'm waffling, and hopefully I won't see you too long playing with. Well, good morning. Nothing through the night. That's got to be one of the most horrific winds I've been in ever in a bivvy. I had to get up in the middle of the night and make sure all the pegs were in, put a couple extra in because the wind was horrific. Luckily it was on the back of me, so it's blowing over the top of the bivvy. If I'd got on the bowl and had the flat part of the bivvy towards the wind, I think my bivvy would have took off. So yeah, no fish. Had liners most of the night, and the rain was relentless, as you saw. It continued most of the night, but this morning it's still really windy, but the rain has stopped and everything's drying out, thankfully, so I might get my clothes dry from yesterday. But yeah, I redid the rods this morning and literally just pub chopped them 2/3 of the way across the lake where I saw the fizzing. So yeah, I'll show you where I'm casting to. There's a lot of people turned up this morning. They've mainly gone behind me on the bowl and a couple to the right of me. I don't know whether there's anybody to the left of me. I can't see anybody on the far side. But yeah, it looks really nice. We'll see how we get on today. As I say, I've not spotted yet, so based upon how it goes this morning, I'll put some spods in, try and bait up an area, see if we can get anything coming into it. So I'm going to have one on a baited spot, one on a mesh bag, and then I'm going to have a roving rod, which is going to be the solid bag, so I'll cast to any showing fish. I've only got a small area. It's not like linear where I was out last week where I had a massive volume of water, so but yeah, I've seen a bit of fizzing close in, nothing on the spots, and we'll see how we get on today. So there was one fish that jumped last night. I think I got it on my GoPro. If I have it, I'll put it on now. But there was one fish that jumped last night. I expected a fish last night because there was loads of fizzing, but unfortunately it's not happened. So we'll see how we get on today. I'll show you what rigs I'm using. They're my standard carp rigs that I use in all my sessions, but I'll show you the rigs that I'm using, where I'm casting to, and fingers crossed the wind stops, and we can catch something today and do a bit of wildlife photography and filmography. A little update. It's now 12 o'clock, lunchtime, and I have had a couple of beeps on my rods. Other than that, it has been absolutely dead. As you can see here, it's still windy. I hate to imagine what the audio is like, so apologies in advance, but the wind is still really bad. Fortunately the rain stopped, so I'm trying to dry out all my clothing from last night because I got absolutely soaked, as you saw, trying to set up the rods before my bivvy. So yeah, I've got my left hand rod and I've literally chucked it out here with a solid bag, and then my middle rod I have got over to this tree here, this little skinny one there, and it's probably about 2/3 of the way across. That one's got a yellow magic bean with mini micro pellets. The left hand rod's a solid bag, and then my right hand one I have got off the left hand side of this shrub here, 2/3 of the way out. That's where the bubbling was last night, the fizzing, and that's got a mini micro pellets and another 12mm yellow magic bean, because yellow seems to be the colour that does well on here. And yeah, unfortunately there's not much to update. I'm still waiting for the house pellet from Jaden, so I'll get that in a minute, and then I think I'm going to spod over. I'm going to pick a spot. I've just pub chucked it, but I think I'm going to wrap it up. I think it was about 6 wraps, 7 wraps. So I'm going to measure it out. I'm going to spod over that area there, because I think last time I was here Glyn got his bait belt out and it was about 7 foot. So I'll mark a couple of spots with these 2 rods, and then I'll have one on the spod mix with the worms and stuff. We'll have one on the house pellet, and then the third one will be a solid bag, and then we'll see how we get on for the rest of the 2 days. But yeah, quick update. I'm going to get back in the bivvy because it's really windy, as you can see. Really windy, so apologies for the audio. We'll get back in the bivvy where it's nice and calm. Well, apologies about that, the wind really got up. But yeah, that's the scenario. We'll see whether the bites switch on when we add some spod mix, but I'll keep the left hand one as a singles rod without putting any bait over, because if you remember last time when I fished on peg 13, the 2 baited spots didn't produce, but the roving rod did. So I'm always going to keep the solid bag one as a roving rod, and then we'll see how we get on with the other 2. But yeah, we'll quick update. It's lunchtime. I'm not expecting any bites because this is normally the time when carp switch off at lunchtime and they switch back on about 4 o'clock. So I'm going to watch the rest of my taboo series. I am watching taboo on my tablet, so I'll keep on watching this, and then I might make an omelette. Well, as the afternoon drew on, I decided to redo all 3 rods. My left hand rod was going out on the solid bag, and that was going out at 8.5 wraps, and it was going in between a marker in between 2 silver trees. This is where Jaden said was a hot spot, so that solid bag was going out there with no bait around it. As Jaden had recommended that spot for my solid bag, I didn't feel the need to use my marker float to work out the depth and what I was fishing on. But I used it to measure my other 2 spots, just to see how deep they were and what I was fishing on. It felt like silt all the way through and no gravel, and roughly about 6 foot deep. Now I've got my spots, the depth and what I'm fishing on, I'll spod over both my right hand rods. This will give a nice bed of bait and hopefully attracting the carp. And based upon bites or what action I see in the swim, I'll keep on topping up both these spots throughout the session. Well, now that my bed of bait is out, I'll cast out my rig. For me, this ensures that the rig is sitting on top of the bait and is not being obscured in any way. As you saw, the 3 rods are now out. My left hand rod is in between these silver trees here, and that is at 8.5 wraps on a solid bag. I've put nothing else out, just the solid bag, and that had mini micro pellets. It looked like it had a yellow magic bean inside, and I've squirted some flat spot in it. And yeah, since that's been out there, I have seen a fish jump just to the left of it, but that's where Jaden said go between those two silver trees. My middle rod, I have got it on a pink pop-up, and it is out 5 wraps just off this big tree here, so it's about there. So I wanted it in the middle in the deep water. Last time we was here, Glyn said it was about 7 foot deep on his boat, so I've put that towards the middle. I've spommed out probably about 10 or 15 spoms of my mix that I made last night, and that is got in mini micro pellet, the OG fish 4 and 6 mil pellet. I've also got sweet corn in there, and I've also got some chopped up worms. See the chopped up worms there. So yeah, I've spotted that out, and over the top of that, as I said, is the pink, is a Parker Baits pink pop-up, a 15mm one, and then I have tied some worms onto the top of it to make it a bit like a Medusa. Hello, Swan. Bit like a Medusa, and it literally pops about that far off the bottom, so if there's any weed or line on top of the bait that I've spotted out, it'll be nice and presentable. And then my right hand rod I have chucked out, so where this long tree is here, just off this bush, I've literally chucked it out there. That was at 6 wraps, and on there I have got a yellow magic bean, and I have got that with an OG fish PVA mesh bag, dosed again in flat spot, and then I have spotted out a kilo of Jaden's house pellet. Now he's recommended this. I've seen on social media that that a lot of people catch on it, so I've decided to give that a go. I've spotted out a kilo of it, 6 wraps out, and yeah, that's my whole rod's done. So I'm going to chill out and get some lunch, and leave the rods for the afternoon. So it's now about 2 o'clock, so I'm going to leave them out all afternoon, see how we get on, and I'll keep on watching the water and see whether it tells me anything. The only fish I've seen jump in, I've seen them off this island here, I've seen a fish jump on this, and as I say, where the silver trees are, I've seen 1 fish jump to the left, so there is a couple of fish in the area. Fingers crossed one of them takes the bait.
Well, as the evening drew in, the wind continued. To me it felt like perfect carpy conditions, and as the night drew in, my optimism was high. I'd found the spots, put the bait out, everything was set, and I expected a busy night ahead.
Well, good morning. Nothing overnight. I went to bed probably about 10 o'clock. I woke up at 8 o'clock this morning. People are packing up behind me, they've all gone, and there's some new people on there. You can probably hear them in the background setting up. But yeah, I had a beep on my solid bag rod, which was over towards the silver trees, but other than that, it's been absolutely dead. And speaking to the rest of the people on the lake, nothing's come out either. So yeah, it's just fishing really tough. I'm gonna do the same today, literally gonna redo the rods, same positions, because I spotted that bait over yesterday, and fingers crossed they'll switch on today. So yeah, rinse and repeat. If other people were catching and I wasn't, then I'd be concerned and switch it over, but they just don't seem to be fishing at the moment. Seem to be fishing well, and there's no carp coming out. So yeah, we'll rinse and repeat today, do the same 3 spots, freshen up the bait, and I'll watch the water and see if there's any more updates. But yeah, quick message from this morning, nothing overnight, and we'll see how we get on today.
Well, a quick update, him in amongst the showers. There's a big swirl down here, so I've literally chucked some of the house pellet in, and the ducks are absolutely loving it. Yeah, unfortunately I won't be getting a rod there. It must only be a couple of foot deep, but there was a big massive swirl. There's been bubbles up and down here, literally about a rod length off, but unfortunately the ducks have got on the bait, so yeah, have to stick my rod back out there again. There is fizzing where my middle rod is, where the worms are. You can see the bubbles there. Might see them on the GoPro, but there is bubbles, so I'm hoping that middle rod might go off. But other than that, it's been quiet again today. It's now 1:45, and I've only had a couple of liners on the solid bag rod, and that's it, nothing else. So I'm going to leave the rods out for a while. I'm going to have to cast my right hand rod back over there. There is a bit of fizzing. It's a 6 wrap point, because obviously this is just an absolute no-go. So yeah, anyone that's fishing peg 3, even though you see loads of bubbling and fizzing out here, if there's any ducks nearby, don't chuck any house pellet in, because you get absolutely bombarded by the ducks. Well, another update. It is now 8:05, obviously at night, and I'm switching swims on the night before I go home. So I've had nothing on this one for about 60 hours now, and this peg has become free on this side. Now there's a guy being on here for a day session, just watching football. Just pause that for the minute. Yeah, there's a guy being on this side, and he's caught a 28-pound common just off this tree, about where that ring is there. So yeah, I'm switching here for the last part of tonight and into tomorrow. So I'm going to chuck one off the reeds there. You probably can't see the reeds because the light is really low, but there's one off the reeds here. I've just cast the one rod I've got on this side at the moment at 15 wraps, which takes me off there, and as I say, the other one's going to go under the tree. So yeah, 8 o'clock at night. I don't do things by halves, but I'm going to set up my bivvy and everything else over on this peg, so I can spend the last 12 hours or so. Well, what time is it? 8 o'clock. So yeah, I've probably not even got, probably about 14 hours, 15 hours on this, on the other side. So fingers crossed, moving all this gear will pay off, and fingers crossed I can nick one on the far side. So yeah, I'm gonna get all this packed away and put across, and yeah, hopefully I can bring you a carp. Try my best, and hopefully I'll see you all in a bit with a fish. Anything, I'll take anything, a carp or a catfish, I don't really care, as long as it's over a double. But if I could get a 28-pound common like the guy did before, I'd be absolutely made up. But yeah, I'm going to sort out my gear, wind down for the night, and hopefully I'll see you in a bit with a carp.
Well, good morning. Yeah, nothing overnight. The wind was really bad last night and the rain. I had to turn the sensitivity right down on my bite alarm, so I wasn't getting the wind knocking the line. But yeah, the nothing, no fish. Really confusing. And I'm packing down this morning. Say it's now 8:30. And yeah, I don't know what else I can do. I've literally tried everything. So I've been watching the water. There's no sign of fish now. So yeah, I'm going to give it till lunchtime today. So I've still got a chance, and then I'm going to pack down and that'll be it. A 72-hour blank. Very, very frustrating. Speaking to people this morning, there's only that one fish that came out yesterday, which is on the peg that I'm on now. Other than that, nothing else on the lake's been caught. So it's just one of those things. Unfortunately, with specimen fishing, the rewards are high when you catch, but you're just a waiting game. And yeah, it's I'm starting to get used to it. After Linear, the last video you would have watched was would have been me at Linear, and yeah, that was a mental struggle, and this has been a mental struggle, but I've tried everything I can. I've literally was on the peg behind me for 48 hours, nothing. There was fizzing, but just no fish, no bites. And then I thought I'd move over here to give me a better opportunity, but unfortunately it's not worked out so far. But I say I've got about 4 hours left. I'm going to do a slow pack down, get some breakfast, and then you'll either see me with a carp or a catfish, or you'll see me crying in the corner doing an outro. Well, just after I did that piece to camera, there was some jumping up this side, up to this point here. So as you know, my right hand rod's been off these reeds all night, so I've literally just re-chucked it up there with a pink magic bean. And you can see the flat spot there, that's where my bait is. Pink magic bean with a mesh bag, mini micro pellets. But yeah, other than that, it seems pretty quiet, so fingers crossed we can nick one. The rain is absolutely chucking it down. Over there is Popper Black. Seems to have blown over a bit now, but it was Popper Black before, so yeah, fingers crossed we can nick one. Still optimistic, even though I've only got a couple of hours left. 2 or 3 hours, but yeah, you can see that flat spot now. See it there, in the middle of the camera. The flat spot is coming out, so hopefully the fish are feeding on it. And wish me luck in this absolutely awful weather. Grim. Well, it's absolutely torrential, chucking it down. I've just cast my middle rod out there. Basically, you can see the flat spot there. Just a pub chuck. I saw a fish crash. They seem to have moved closer in than what they were last night. Last night they were at the very far back bit, but I've seen a couple crash there since I've casted, and some there since I've cast, so fingers crossed. Got a bit more optimism that I might be able to get a quick bite. Oh yeah, the slow pat down is not going to be happening in this. Try and hold out until the rain calms down a bit. Well, that's it for Coole Acres. Just taking an opportunity in the break in the weather. It's actually got out nice and sunny now. It's been raining all morning, as you saw. And yeah, I've been on the lake for 73, no. 67 hours. Yeah, and it's been an absolute struggle. As you know, I was on peg 3, the one opposite, for 48 hours. Saw fizzing on the first night, thought it was going to be great. I ended up not seeing any of the fish other than an odd show, but nothing. And this bowl, there was loads of fish showing. And the guy that was in this peg got that really nice 28-pound common carp, sorry, off that tree. So I thought, it's a no-brainer, he's going. I can do the last night and into today on this peg and see whether I can catch one. And there's been fish jumping all down the edge, but unfortunately I've not been able to catch one. Looking around the lake, the two people down
that side of the bowl as well, they've had nothing. And looking at the lake, I think only either 1 or 2 fish have come out since Sunday. So yeah, that's it. Unfortunately, I've tried my best. I really apologise. I hate posting blanking videos, but I've got to show the reality of what fishing is actually like. It's not all about catching fish. Well, it's not on my videos, but in general, people go out and go fishing, and looking at social media, think everyone catches all the time, but you don't. So yeah, that's it for Coole Acres. If you've made it this far, if you want to like and subscribe to my channel, I really would appreciate it. I think I'm just under 1,100, so I appreciate all your support. I'm absolutely loving it. If you want to leave any comments down below of any suggestions for me to improve my channel, or any venues you'd like me to go to, I really would appreciate it. And hopefully I'll see you all soon. Thanks for watching.